Hey gamers, today we're going to look at Lost Ruins of Arnak. Let's check it out. There is a lot of setup in this game. This is a huge table hog, at least vertically here. Let me tell you what all you need to do. Of course, you need to put your resources in these areas. This is a separate board that goes underneath the main board here. So you'll separate all your resources here, separate your tiles for the 1 and 2 areas of exploration here, as well as your guardians in the center. They each have little outlines there to show where everything goes. You'll shuffle your deck of characters, divide into 3 stacks, and stack them over there. You will have the little moon staff here and place it here by the 1. This game goes over 5 rounds. You have your relic cards here and your item cards there. They look the same on the top, but on the bottom, some are outlined in blue and item ones are outlined in brown. You're going to deal out 1 relic card over here to the left of the staff, and then 5 item cards onto the right of the staff. Now, after every turn is over, after every round is over, they'll eliminate the 2 cards next to the staff, move the staff here to round 2, and then you'll stack it with 2 relic cards here, and then have 4 item cards over there. And then, so as the game goes on, there'll be more relic cards than there are item cards. You'll also stack your little fear deck here. These are all the same card right there, and you'll stack it in the middle. And they have discard piles for both of them, for both the relics and the items. Down here, and it even shows you on these boards here, but you're going to take these little tokens, these little idle tokens. You're going to place one face up on all the level 1 areas. For the level 2 areas, and it shows you here on the board, you'll place one face up and one face down. You're going to take your own little magnifying glass and notebook and put it right there on the starting track of the research track here. You're going to take all of these tiles, shuffle them out, place them in their areas here on the board here, and then depending on how many players there are in the game, that's how many of these tiles you're going to put in. So in a 4-player game, you put 4 tiles there face down on the stack that shows you right there. Here, the same thing, these little tablets here, you'll put 3 stacks, 2 stacks, and 1 stack of these, and the stacks are the exact same count as the players. So if it's a 4-player game, you'll have 4 stacks of each tablet in each area there. You also have these little tiles that make the game tighter in a 3 or 2-player game. And a 2-player game, I believe you'll put them all out. They'll cover the double boots areas there. In a 3-player game, you'll select 2 of these, flip them over. As you see, there are little icons there, and whatever those icons match here on the area, that's where you'll put the little blockout spaces, but that's for less than 4 players here. Now, each person comes with their own little player board with their 2 little meeples there. First player will get the clock there. They'll also get a stack of cards, all of their color. This is yellow's player, plus 1 fear card. So everyone starts off with their 4 base cards of their color and the fear card. And then from there on out, depending on who's going what place, first or third, those are the type of items they will start out with. So how it's going to start is everyone is going to take their deck, shuffle it around, and then take off the first 5 cards off the deck. Right now you start with 5, so you will have 5, your 4 basic and the 1 fear. And then from there on out, you're going to take turns performing certain actions or free actions if it has a lightning bolt here until everyone can't do anything else. Okay, and then when all players pass, the round moves and then the game starts again. The next round starts again. Now, what all can you do? Well, there's a little player aid here that's very awesome that says, hey, here's all the things you can do. You can dig at a site. These are some of the base sites. What you do is you see here, you have to pay a boot or 2 boots. And here I have cars, I have boats, and I have boots. So I pay this boot, and I just play it out here. And then I take one of my little meeples and I put him anywhere on that area. So if I want to place him here, I would get the resource. And as you see, the resources are in here: 2 coins, 2 compasses, 2 tablets, 1 spear, or right here it says, hey, if you just play a card, just play a card without using the ability, you get a ruby, which is the rarest resource in the game. Other than that, I can take any free actions I want to on my turn. For instance, I could play all of these cards and just take that free action of the lightning bolt, say getting 2 coins and 2 compasses if I wanted to. to. But anyway, that's one action you can do. Now, the next action you can do, of course, is, and let me just put it here, it says, hey, discover a new site. To discover a new site, you have to go out here. Now, on the board, it'll say either automobiles or boats. Up here is 2 automobiles, and up here you need 2 boat icons to travel out here. Also, to explore it, you need compasses. Down here it says, hey, you need 3 compasses to discover anything in the first area, or 6 compasses if you want us to discover one of these nicer regions out here. And so, let's say that I'd gotten a few, maybe I'd moved it here, gotten 2 compasses, and maybe I was second player or whatever, and I started with an extra compass, either or maybe I did this action and got a free compass. Now I may travel. So I play my car here. Now when I play my car, I can't take the free action on it, so I have to play it for a car. And I pay my 3 compasses, and then I can move my other man out to any area. Since I paid an automobile, it can be each one of these. Now when you play it here, a few things happen. First off, you're going to take the little reward bonus token and get the item. It could be a coin, it could be a compass, it could be a tablet, it could be, hey, trade one of the 3 big items, you know, arrowheads, rubies, or tablets. So you can trade one of them. Or, hey, get rid of one of the cards in your deck. The cards you're not going to want to have too many of are the fear cards, because basically they're all good, only good for boots, and then plus they're -1 at the end of the game. Now throughout the game you're going to get a lot of these. There's a whole stack there. If that stack ever runs out, which I haven't seen it happen yet, but if it does, you start grabbing these little tokens here, and they're -2 points each time you get a fear card, but there's none there, so that's really bad. Now these also will double for a resource ×3. If you ever run out of resources, then just put them all back and put one here. So if I put a ruby there, that means I have 3 rubies. Okay, that's just to kind of help you in case you run out of resources there. But anyway, as I discover a tile, I'll take it. I'll take the free bonus there, which is 1 compass. I'll flip it over. It'll be worth 3 victory points at the end of the game. And I will also put it here on my player board. Now, while I'm on my player board, I do want to show you there is another free action you can do. You see these lightning bolts here? These are victory points you'll get at the end of the game. However, if you cover it up with an amulet, you lose that victory point, whatever victory point you got, but you get to do one of these additional free actions. A +1 means, hey, you put an extra card in your hand. So if there's more cards in the deck, you can take the top card off it and put it in your hand, which gives you more abilities to play cards or take turns. Or you can trade in for a coin and a compass, or 2 tablets, or a spear. Or you could change in and pay 1 coin and get a ruby. But once you can only use it up to 4 times, and once you use it, you lose those victory points. But it does count for free actions, and it may really help you out because you may need those items throughout the game. Now either way, this will still be worth 3 points. It won't go away, even though you used it on your personal board to take one of those free actions. So going back to discovering an area, next you take one of the tiles, either a level 1 or level 2 tile, and place it out on the board where you discovered. So I take the level 1 tile, and I'm going to get this reward. I'm going to get a fear card because this is a scary place here, and then I'm going to get a compass and a ruby. Huzzah! So I put that down there, and I grab all the resources and put it on my player board. However, I have awakened a guardian. Every time you reveal a new place, you awaken the guardian. So I take the top guardian tile and I flip it around. Oh man, this guy is awful. To beat him, I need a spear, I need a gold coin, and I need to just play one of my cards without taking an action. So I place it on top of there. Now, throughout the rest of my turn, I'm going to try to see if I can beat him. And if I can, then I will take this tile. And as you see, here's a one-time free action of discarding a card in my hand. So that fear I took earlier from going there, maybe if I beat him, I want to get rid of that fear card. Once I do that, I flip it over, and it's worth 5 points at the end of the game. Now, even if you don't use this special action here, by the end of the game, all guardians are worth 5 victory points once they are defeated. Now, if I can't defeat him, and the end of the round comes, and I have no more turns left, and I just couldn't get, let's say, a spear, what he's going to do, he's going to run in terror. He's just going to run. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to grab another fear card and put it on my deck. Whenever you have new cards added to your deck, you'll put them over here on the bottom of the deck. So another item I can do, I can already talk about overcome a guardian, so I could also buy an item on a turn. What is buy an item? Well, I could come up here to the area here and either pay compasses for relics or pay coin for items. Now they'll let you do various things and it tells you on the card exactly what you do. The only difference between the two is, and by the way, they're also worth victory points at the end of the game when you buy them. It's located at the bottom there. The only difference is when you buy a relic card, you get to do this action right away. So you play it immediately and you get to do the action, whatever the action is. Now after that, when you shuffle it back into your deck, whenever you want to play this, you have to pay 1 tablet, and that goes for every relic card. So I had to pay 1 tablet if I want to do this ever again. Now if you notice here, this one in particular has airplanes on it. In fact, all the relics have airplanes on it, which means instead of playing it for that, if I don't have a tablet and I can't do that action, I can always play it for that and travel instead. So these cards can be one or the other. Again, I couldn't play both. I couldn't play a tablet, get that, and then also use it as an airplane. Airplanes can travel anywhere. In fact, the travel hierarchy is such as this on your player 8. Hey, a boot is the lowest travel. These are the only places you can travel with boot cards, which are these fear cards, which are basically the worst cards in the game. However, I can travel to any of these sites if I had an automobile or a boat or an airplane because it's greater than a boot. And then, of course, if I wanted to go to either one of these sites, I had to pay that particular icon, or I could play 1 airplane and go to either one of those. Or if I wanted to, I didn't have any of these, I could pay 2 coins, hire a pilot, and travel anywhere I wanted to. So even if you maybe ran out of cars to travel places and there's places you still wanted to go to, you could pay 2 coins and fly out there. Now remember, if it's a new undiscovered place, you have to pay the compasses. However, if it isn't, let's say this place has already been discovered. Well, if I want to go out here, I can. I don't have to pay the compasses anymore. I just have to pay the travel, whatever the travel card is. Now, if the Guardian hasn't been defeated, it doesn't matter. I'll still get this reward here, and hopefully I can beat him later on. Maybe you go in thinking you can beat him. If he's already beaten, then no more Guardian comes out, and that's just an extra space people can play on and get that reward. And of course, as the game goes on, you'll have more and more spaces that are going to be open to the players. Of course, if it's an upper level one like that, a 2 is right there. And you flip over the 2 and do the same thing, add a Guardian to it. All right, so we went over buy an item, buy an artifact just then. Free action is playing a card with a lightning bolt there. And then we have research. This is the last action before passing. If you pass, that means you're out for the round. You can't pick back up and play later. But the last action here is research. When you research, you have to pay certain icons on the board. So this one says a compass or a spearhead. This one says a ruby. Either one I pay, I would move up, and the magnifying glass moves up first, and then the journal. What you're doing is you're investigating first and then writing it down in your journal. Thematically, that's what it's meaning. So either one I pay, I move up. So let's say I paid a compass and arrowhead, I move up there. All right, so what do I get? Well, there's these little icons shaped like a spyglass and shaped like the book here that tell you what you get. And you get the top rewards. In this case, I get a coin. Later on, if I move my magnifying glass up here, if I was the first one to pay a ruby, then I get this bonus one, which is a compass. And look over here. Oh, it looks like I get a compass for putting my magnifying glass there. These are rewards that everyone gets when they move up. These tiles are one-time rewards, whoever's the first one to move up in that area. So I got that ruby, that's mine. The first person to pay a tablet and a spear will get this one, which means they get to discard a card from their hand and move up. Now, you can move your book up at the same level as your magnifying glass. Your book may never exceed your magnifying glass. Magnifying glass must always go first, then book. When you go up on the books, you'll get certain things. The first reward is one of these assistants. And assistance, as you see, is a free action. And when you tap it, you can tap it once per round, you'll get that reward. So, and they all tell you this one's 2 coins, this one's can count as a coin or a pilot, or this one can add a card in your hand and you have to discard a card when you do that. But anyway, those are the actions they can do. Now those are both silver because you have 2 spaces here on your player board. So if I had gotten this guy, I can tap him every round, boom, and get 2 coins. At the end of the round, I flip him back over. Later on, if I get up to these levels, I can flip him over, and now he's even better. He gives me 3 coins every time I tap him. Everyone's gold ability is better than their silver ability, and at the bottom of the card it tells you, hey, next time you won't have to, if you flip him over, you won't have to discard a card, you'll just add one to your hand like you see as gold. So it even tells you what their gold ability will be later on if you move your book up high enough. Now, as you're moving up through here, the first person to get their magnifying glass up here gets big victory points, 23, 21, 20, or 19. They also get to look through this stack of bonus tiles and pick the one they want. After that, they take that reward, discard, and there'll only be 3 left. Now, if they want to get one of these tablets, they got to pay one of these 3 areas here. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit to kind of let you see what those rewards are. So on the tablets that you see here, if I was to pay 1 gold coin and 2 tablets, I could get one of these levels, either one of those levels. If I was to pay maybe a ruby and a compass or a spear, like 2 of these, or maybe a ruby and a coin and 2 tablets, then I could take one of the 6 levels. If I was to pay 1 of each of those, then I could take the big levels up here. The only time you can do that is when your guy is up here. All right, you get nothing for your book making it up there, but my deep appreciation, because I don't see how that can happen. Books usually don't make it up the top of the track. But anyway, you do get more rewards even though you've scored the max amount of points. There's still points to get ways to get extra points through those tablets there. Now, after each round is over, again, like I said, you'll be discarding the 2 cards next to the staff, move the staff over, and of course replace it with more relic cards. Remember, the item cards get less and less throughout the rounds, and relic cards become more available. You're also going to take the cards in your hand, shuffle them, put them at the bottom of your stack, and then off the top of your deck, draw 5 more cards. If you need to draw 5 cards, and let's say you discarded so many cards one round, you only had 4 left, well then you just pick up the 4 there. Anyway, then you'd play again. You do that after 5 rounds, and at the end of 5 rounds, you're going to count up all your cards, you're going to count up your bonuses, wherever you stopped on this track. So if my magnifying glass stopped here, and my book stopped here, I would get 12 points from my magnifying glass, and 6 points for my book being there. I'd also add up any cards in my hand. So for instance, maybe if I had these 2, that'd be 3 points, but then I have to subtract any fear. Oh man, so I only got 1 point there. Also, I'll add up any points I have remaining here on my player board, plus any points I got for discovering new areas. You add up your points for tablets, your points for any conquered guardians, and whoever has the most points wins. Final thoughts, what do I think about the game? Well, this is actually a really fun game, caught my attention, kind of hard to get right now as of this video, but definitely worth it. There's deck building, there's worker placement, there's a lot of paths to victory here. I mean, you can do different, one guy was just working on getting discoveries and beating those guardians. If you discovered something you lost to the guardian, he made sure he had the resources to beat that guardian. That's 5 big points. Someone else just focused on getting compasses and coins just to buy as many cards as they could. And that was their strategy. And you always want to move up the research track too. My strategy was trying to get to the top, or as high as I could on both tracks. It came down to a pretty close game at the end, but I really like that. There's multiple strategies to win the game. This has simple mechanics, easy to understand. The only problem is it is a big board. It is kind of a table hog, but if you can get over that, the pieces are great, the artwork's great, the gameplay is super fun. This is a really fun, smooth game. Big hit with my gaming group. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, you know what to do. Game on!